Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Ito ASMR. Today I will be reading the great Shakespeare, and I hope you all enjoy. The Phoenix and the Turtle. Let the bird of loudest lay on the sole Arabian tree, herald sad and trumpet be, to whose sound chaste wings obey. But thou shrieking harbinger, foul procurer of the fiend, augur of the fever's end, to this troop come thou not near. From this session interdict every fowl of tyrant wing, save the eagle-feathered king, keep the obsequy so strict. Let the priest in surplice white, that defunctive music can, be the death-divining swan, lest the requiem lack his right. And thou treble-dated crow, that thy sable-gendered mak'st, with the breath thou giv'st and tak'st, mongst our mourners shalt thou go. Here the anthem doth commence, love and constancy is dead, Phoenix and the turtle fled, in a mutual flame from hence. So they loved, as love in twain had the essence but in one, two distincts, division none, number there in love was slain. Hearts remote, yet not asunder, distance and no space was seen, twixt this turtle and his queen, but in them it were a wonder. So between them love did shine, that the turtle saw his right, flaming in the phoenix's sight, either was the other's mine. Property was thus appalled, that the self was not the same, single nature's double name, neither two nor one was called. Reason in itself confounded, saw division grow together, to themselves yet either neither, simple were so well compounded, that it cried, how true a twain, seemeth this concordant one, love has reason, reason none, if what parts can so remain. Whereupon it made this threen, to the phoenix and the dove, co-supremes and stars of love, as chorus to their tragic scene. Beauty, truth, and rarity, grace and all simplicity, here enclosed in cinders lie. Death is now the phoenix's nest, and the turtle's loyal breast to eternity doth rest, leaving no posterity. 'Twas not their infirmity, it was merry chastity. Truth may seem, but cannot be, beauty brag, but 'tis not she, truth and beauty buried be. To this urn let those repair, that are either true or fair, for those dead birds sigh a prayer. Sonnet 12. When I do count the clock that tells the time, and see the brave day sunk in hideous night, when I behold the violet past prime, in sable curls all silvered o'er with white, when lofty trees I see barren of leaves, which erst from heat did canopy the herd, and summer's green all girded up in sheaves, borne on the briar with white and bristly beard, then of thy beauty do I question make, that thou among the wastes of time must go, since sweets and beauties do themselves forsake, and die as fast as they see others grow, and nothing against time's scythe can make defense, save breed to brave him when he takes thee hence. Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to come thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Sonnet 3. Look in thy glass and tell the face thou viewest. Look in thy glass and tell the face thou viewest. Now is the time that face should form another, whose fresh repair if now thou not renewest, thou dost beguile the world, unblessed some mother. For where is she so fair whose uneared womb disdains the tillage of thy husbandry? Or who is he so fond will be the tomb of his self-love to stop posterity? Thou art thy mother's glass, and she in thee calls back the lovely April of her prime. So thou through windows of thine age shalt see, despite of wrinkles, this thy golden time. But if thou live, remember not to be, die single, and thine image dies with thee. Sonnet 25. Let those who are in favor with their stars. Let those who are in favor with their stars of public honor and proud titles boast, whilst I, whom fortune of such triumph bars, unlooked for joy in that I honor most. Great princes, favorites, their fair leaves spread, but as the marigold at the sun's eye, and in themselves their pride lies buried, for at a frown they in their glory die. The painful warrior famous for fight, after 1,000 victories once foiled, is from the book of honor raised quite, and all the rest forgot for which he toiled. Then happy I, that love and am beloved, where I may not remove nor be removed. Sonnet 141. In faith I do not love thee with mine eyes. In faith I do not love thee with mine eyes, for they in thee 1,000 errors note. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise, who, in despite of you, is pleased to dote. Nor are mine ears with thy tongue's tune delighted, nor tender feeling to base touches prone, nor taste, nor smell desire to be invited to any sensual feast with thee alone. But my 5 wits nor my 5 senses can dissuade one foolish heart from serving thee, who leaves unswayed the likeness of man, thy proud heart's slave and vassal wretch to be. Only my plague thus far I count my gain, that she that makes me sin awards me pain. Sonnet 130. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses demasked, red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. And yet, by heaven, I think my love is rare, as any she belied with false compare. Sonnet 125. Were it aught to me I bore the canopy. Were it aught to me I bore the canopy, with my extern the outward honoring, or laid great bases for eternity, which proves more short than waste or ruining. Have I not seen dwellers on form and favor lose all, and more, by paying too much rent, for compounds sweet, foregoing simple savor, pitiful thrivers, in their gazing spent? No, let me be obsequious in thy heart, and take thou my oblation, poor but free, which is not mixed with seconds, knows no art, but mutual render, only me for thee. Hence, thou sovereign informer, a true soul, when most impeached, stands least in thy control. Sonnet 110. Alas, 'tis true I have gone here and there. Alas, 'tis true I have gone here and there, and made myself a motley to the view, gored mine own thoughts, sold cheap what is most dear, made old offences of affections new. Most true it is that I have looked on truth, askance and strangely, but, by all above, these blenches gave my heart another youth. and worse essays prove thee my best of love. Now all is done, have what shall have no end. Mine appetite I never more will grind, on no reproof, to try an older friend, a god in love, to whom I am confined. Then give me welcome next my heaven the best, even to thy pure and most loving breast. And finally, Hamlet's soliloquy from Hamlet, obviously. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing in them to die, to sleep no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied over with the pale cast of thought, and enterprise of great pitch and moment with disregard their currents turn awry and loose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph, and thy orisons be all my sins remembered. Thank you, and I hoped you enjoyed, and sleep well.